Australian public now are expecting Australian teams to win. I mean, the youth team did it, and now the Roos have done it. So, I mean, I think the flagship is the first team. It's your first Australian 11, and people are going to be expecting a result, no matter who it's against. They know we've beaten Argentina before, and they're going to expect it again, which, if we're going to make this game last in this country, that's what we've got to put up with. So good.
Hello, this is Les Murray and welcome to the Soccer Australia 93 video. Over the next 90 minutes we'll be sampling the cream of this country's footballing talent as the Socceroos embark on a treacherous yet fascinating journey towards the 1994 World Cup in the United States of America. But let's not forget Australian soccer's breeding ground, the Coca-Cola Soccer League, where there is really a dull moment. The 92-93 season was one worth remembering, ending in glory for Marconi Fairfield. Australia became the centre of the soccer world's attention in March 1993 when the World Youth Championship came down under. Local fans were treated to a fabulous festival of football in which Brazilian brilliance spoke the loudest and the entertainment factor was always switched on high.
Cathay Pacific, helping the new world of international travelers arrive in better shape.
We're at the starting gates now for Australia's arduous World Cup campaign. The Socceroos' first task was to win the Oceania group. They notched solid away victories against Tahiti and the Solomon Islands, and then returned home to tackle Tahiti in their opening domestic World Cup qualifier.
And just wide from Carl Viet. He did everything bar the final finish. Looks up, looking for Wade. Wade is there for the Socceroos. Back now to Mimic Rakovic. Low cross. Edwards was hoping that Belmati would leave it. Now the deep ball by Pearson, Murray, and the header by Gray. Not a bad header at all from Vince. 1-0 Australia. Carl Beard, Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, it's good to see that the goalkeeper dropped that ball. Fell beautifully there for Carl Beard. No mistake.
A lot of these players know that when these guys come back, they'll gain more or less automatic selection. And I think players up front are definitely going to have to put the goals away if they want to have an outside chance of being selected.
It's a really difficult situation too, because the local players get upset as
That was silly.
well. Mike Peterson, let's hope that it's not too serious for him. Jeez, and Mike Peterson, you don't have to be a lip reader. He's sent him off. That's unbelievable. Surely not. Has he given him a red card?
Who's he sent off?
He sent off Mike Peterson because Peterson got upset about the challenge, and he's shown the red card. This is really inexperience from the referee. But here's another chance. 10 or 11 in Australia, creating better chances. Mark back inside and again at the back post. Viet. And he just couldn't get the control he was hoping for. It was just bowled away from him. Murray. Good turn inside on Lugard. This is a good run from Damien Murray. That's where he looks really great when he's got that direct run and the shot, and it's going his first at full A international level.
That was unbelievable. What a strike.
It was unbelievable. That was always going in though. They were surprised the way Tahiti played the offside trap, because they like to play just an open game. They thought it was a bit unfair. But it won't be an easy game next week against the Solomon Islands, as in fact the full-time whistle does go. And sadly for Australia, Mike Peterson won't be playing next week.
Well, that's the unfortunate thing, but he'll be there for the game against New Zealand. That's the most important game.
We always knew the second half. I thought we'd wallop them the second half. I was quite happy the first half. They'd done a lot of chasing, a lot of work. But all we had to do was keep the ball and attack them, Les, and I think we'd have scored 4-5 the second half. And I was disappointed with the sending off. You know, it's for nothing.
Australia's goal-scoring machine may have been a little rusty against the game Tahitians, but it roared into action against the Solomon Islands in Newcastle.
The Coca-Cola Socceroos back for the first half. And after only 4 minutes, the Socceroos' Greg Brown's cross was perfectly weighted to Ian Gray. His header found Itek Gench in space, and his shot superb. Solomon Islands loved to attack, and they swung into action through Omakirio 2 minutes later. Omakirio did well to get the ball to Charles Ashley. He beat Ivanovic, and it was 1-1. Pushing forward on every occasion, the Socceroos nearly went ahead. Gary Hasler's header forcing Batai to make a good save. Hasler was in the thick of it again. His punishing left foot giving Gench the chance, but he couldn't get a clear header, and it was forced wide. And in one of the rare opportunities in the match, Natai stripped Stewart of the ball, found Varto in space, but his shot was over the top. Seconds later, Varto had another crack at beating Franken. His chip shot this time, again clearing the bar. Just before half-time, Gary Hasler should have scored from the corner. 1-1 at the break, and then the floodgates opened. Damien Murray made the break down the right. His cross was flicked back, falling nicely for Gray, who found Gench on the left, and his delicate lob into the area was met by Carl Beard. Back to Gray following up. Goal number 2 to the Coca-Cola Socceroos. Again the Socceroos pressed forward, and Brown found himself with possession. In a patient build-up, Alistair Edwards crossed into the area, and Wade was Johnny on the spot for the Aussies' third. So the Socceroos were home comfortable winners and went on to score another 3 to Brown, Jurakovic and Viet. Final score, Australia 6, Solomon Islands 1.
There are all sorts of claims being made about light beers these days. So what's so special about Foster's Special?
By the middle of 1993, the Socceroos World Cup campaign was really warming up. Their next obstacle was an opponent to be respected in the shape of New Zealand, who always seem to find that little extra in trans-Tasman sporting battles. Whether it's at cricket, rugby, soccer or marbles, these Kiwis love nothing more than bringing Australia undone. However, with a satisfying 1-0 win in Auckland, the Socceroos held the upper hand as they prepared for the return leg in Melbourne.
A bit of a cloud over his fitness, having suffered a hamstring problem. The Socceroos closing them down, the pressure is told. Arnold, Carl Viet on his right, Vidmar inside, Viet goes for goal! 58 seconds in! Australia have broken through already! Carl Viet the scorer! Goal number 5 in this World Cup campaign! What a sweet goal indeed, Johnny Warren! And what a way to start the match!
Great start, Andy. We're all worried about the first few minutes for Australia. Everyone's saying New Zealand just need to pinch one back and we're in trouble, but that is a dream start.
Well, it's been a development of worldwide football. It has been the Haviland era as president of FIFA, which has introduced these various age competitions, which has enabled the so-called third world countries, of which Australia is one, to evolve into countries challenging the big ones at all international levels.
And the man challenging right now is Robbie Slater. A lovely ball for Vidmar. And goal! Oh, this is amazing! 3 minutes into the game, Aurelio Vidmar, who was stung after being out of the side last week. He was fit last week, and he's certainly shown what it's all about. Vidmar, such a prolific scorer in Belgium. That's 2-0 Australia, and the game's only 3.5 minutes old. How about that, John?
Well, the whole Australian team is. They're playing with confidence, as you'd expect. 2 goals up just gives you that little bit extra to do something with the ball, to hold it, keep possession until we can do something positive. And we saw it earlier with the long ball to Slater. The interesting thing is when Slater breaks on the right, Andy, that Aurelio Vidmar, his runs from deep to beyond the far post on the left, he's always free.
Waiting, Van Blurk, the dummy run had come from Durakovic. Vidmar again! Aurelio Vidmar! He's made a name for himself with Waregem in Belgium. 19 goals there. His aerial dominance has been superb today.
Well, New Zealand, quite understandably, looking after the likes of Viet and Arnold.
Wasn't she, in fact, is the youngest player on the pitch. Halligan away, Polak, control, looks up for Viet. Viet, Roger Gray ahead of him. Vidmar's come back, but he's going for Slater. Slater looked like he was held up. Oh, good header in the air from Robbie Slater, getting around his man, Halligan. Gosling was at that near post, and if a player deserves a goal today, that's Robbie Slater. Lovely move and a great cross. Zelic. Now Longo. Durakovic. Slater. Longo down that line with Halligan. Still Dominic Longo. Back for Slater. In comes the cross. Cray's got a bit of time this. Yes, he has. Riddington straight down to Harry Narton. Tobin's done an effective job on him as well. Vidmar. And still Vidmar. And there was Gray. But now McGarry has slipped straight through them. McLennan inside for McGarry. And that was really the opportunity of the game so far for New Zealand. A good move. McGarry was instrumental in the early stages of that. Zelic. Tobin looks for Arnold. It was cut out by Ironside. Ironside in there again. Riley. The run through the middle by McGarry. Ball was cut out by Zelic. Van Blurk. Not much up there at the moment, although it's coming through the midfield. Arnold a touch on for Vidmar. Inside though for Zelic. Vidmar's got Slater there. Slater and Halligan. Still Robbie Slater! Sydney Olympic goalkeeper Clint Gosling. Based in Newcastle, he's got a painting contract business up there. The soccer players also working for him. Up was Longo. Back there by Riddington. Zelic. Riley. Well and truly in the stoppages now. Bosnich calling. And again, his dominance in the air. You look at Bosnich and he's grown in height as well the last 18 months. He's grown about 2.5 inches.
Well, he always was strong in the air, but his experience in the English First Division just gives him that extra quality in the air, just makes all the rest of the defence feel so safe. But an excellent first half for Australia, thanks to that, the 2 goals in the first 3 minutes.
Thompson had said during the week he expected an improvement of around 25 to 30% of his team. And he's pretty close to the mark, I would think, after what we saw last week.
Irrespective, Andy, of the European experience of the individual players, as a team they just quite simply haven't played together. Last week, the first time that team had been out on the pitch. There's Bosnich again, just so confident in the air, just uses the whole of his box.
And the other
Here's
thing
Slater
is
again.
He's releasing the ball so quickly to turn them right around, and Slater has loved that sort of supply. There's Slater now. This time he goes for Arnold. Away by Evans. Polak. Zelic. Zelic might have a crack from here. No unselfish ball. Viet's onside. Viet back now for Zelic. Zelic's chance. The chance for glory. And that's Zelic. Scores his first goal at senior level. And it's a goal dreams are made of. Australia have virtually booked a place against Canada. And it always looked on as soon as Zelic was in that defensive third.
And every time Ned moves forward, something happens. He reacted to comments last week that he didn't perhaps join the attack often enough. And the reason those comments are made, because once he does, he can do things like that.
Carl Viet again setting up Zelic. How good is this team compared to ones before?
Well, I think potentially it can quite easily be the best. When you look at the individual players and the quality of football that they're playing, there is no comparison. But this team has the potential to be by far our best side. They need to play more games together. They've still yet to do it. But I don't think anyone doubts the pedigree. But all it does reflect, Andy, is that these boys are representative of the new generation of player coming forward in Australia. They've had an excellent education. They've had excellent experience at the youth levels you mentioned earlier.
There's a lovely ball. Just missed by Vidmar, not Van Blurk. Vidmar looks for the layoff. No one there. This time Polak. Australia is certainly playing in exactly the same vein as they started the game. That first 5 minutes in the first half was so deadly, and this has turned out to be a replica. Polak on for Slater. Longo with a vital touch for Zelic. Although New Zealand again, they look ominous here. Rinton almost getting it on for Ironside. It'll go with him now. Back comes Arnold. Looked like a touch of hand there. The referee was quick to wave. Play on. Now the dangerous ball for Ironside. In went Ironside, the chance for New Zealand. Longo away. Bosnich is still out of position. He's there now. And in went Ironside again. 2 challenges from Ironside. And that perhaps has been for them their best opportunity, although Ironside has copped a real knock to the knee. Zelic. Slater's made a bit of a run through that right flank. Tobin on. It was always a mission impossible really for Van Blurk. McLennan. This is a good run, and the shots off the bar. Natter and Jurakovic, and away by Longo. And that was surely the chance of the game for New Zealand. A lovely strike. Now Natter's over there. McGarry. The Maori striker Harry Natter. A dangerous looking ball. Vidmar. Up goes Longo again. There was a bit of elbow perhaps And that really wasn't called for from Dominic Longo. They had a bit of words. But looking back, this lovely run from McLennan, and Michael Riddington's shot crashing against the crossbar. Longo couldn't find his man in Arnold. Evans and Arnold. Longo away again. Viet should get there. Jurakovic. Zelic with him. Polak. And he slid it on for Slater. They've done extremely well, Australia, to come out of this situation. Polak. Still Jason Polak. Blocked by Gosling. And he made the chance for himself. Arnold, he's got Trimboli there. That just needed that little touch. Now Gosling. It's Wise playing it safe for Dunford. Dunford's given it straight to Polak. Now Slater. That's a good run by Vidmar. And now Arnold. Arnold blocked by Gosling as Vidmar and Polak came through. Well, there was a chance for Arnold to score his 17th. Have a look at the defence. The defence was caught out a couple of times. They might have given possession away, but overall, you know, you look at guys like Van Blurk and Tobins and Jurakovic's and so on. And Bosnich there, he might be caught out though. No. When it doesn't go your way, it just doesn't go your way. Riddington was the man this time. 3 minutes of stoppages up now. Slater. Away by Evans. Another counter for New Zealand. Coveney's onside. Bosnich reads the game like a sweeper almost.
The beauty of Bosnich, she has so many qualities, and one of them is able to read the game and act as the sweeper to come off the line when necessary, just as he did then.
Well, the Bosnich family in Sydney and the rest of the families involved with the Socceroos, they'll be delighted today. The Socceroos have progressed past the second step. They've defeated the All Whites of New Zealand by 3-0. They've won it over 2 legs, 4-0. Robbie Slater, another big game, a wholehearted team effort.
There are a lot of colourful claims being made by light beers these days. So what's so special about Foster's Special?
When it comes to playing football on a global stage, there is no substitute for experience. And there could not have been a better experience for the Socceroos than when they were called on by the world's most elite club, AC Milan. The 2 friendly matches were an invaluable aid to Australia's World Cup campaign.
Deflection off him. Murray gets the deep ball in. Lazaridis chases. He should keep it in. His first appearance in Australia in the green and gold. Trimboli trying to get it through for Wade. And they close them down so quickly. There's always 2 or 3 AC Milan players there. Rezi, Abam with a great knot on. Boban. Here comes a dangerous looking ball. And it's gone in! Tony Vidmar has put the ball into his own net. And what a tragedy for Australia. And you really feel sorry for the man because he's been called back into a Socceroos squad after missing the New Zealand game. Boban with a great turn here. The cross, it looked like it was well covered. And Bosnich had no chance. Boban and Blagojevic. Zvonimir Boban and Bosnich, and hooked away in the end by Jurakovic. A dangerous cross from Zvonimir Boban. And that was some attempt from the man in question, Zvonimir Boban.
Boban coming into his own end. He's tipped to take over from Frank Rijkaard.
You talk about the 6, 7 millions, the 12 millions and so on. And it gets the crossbar. What a header indeed by Massaro, I think it was. Donagoni. Boban's shot at the turn! It was worth the $42 just to sit here and see that. Jean-Pierre Papin, the first opportunity. Donagoni, you see that sweet ball. He's laid it on to Boban. Now I should say it was Lentini. And on the line was Vidmar. That time it was Boban. But you take your hats off to the skills, the class and the understanding of this Milan team. And they have looked dangerous when they've been able to get down these flanks, particularly. But what about this? That was class. And so was the goalkeeping. That was brilliant to watch from Boban. But what about Bosnic? He stood his ground. Polak looking for Mori. Rossi comes out. And he spills it. Oh, Mori goes down. Richard Lorenz signal dive. An interesting one, John.
Well, to be the talking point of the game, penalty or not. Oh, I don't think it was a penalty, Andy. He's fallen over the top of the keeper.
And there it is. The world game, the real football. And as we've become used to, Wade gets his first touch and straight to Vidmar. Easy work for Eranio on the right. So a real change to the makeup of the Milan side. The back heel was perfect for Lazaridis from Trimboli. And it spins awkwardly. What a start for Australia. Polak inside is Wade. Wade's made the run. And it's cleared away by Gali. Aitek Genç. And now Polak under intense pressure. Bingley. And it's a good touch on. He gets the return. And the cross just wasn't the sort that he would have hoped. Franco Baresi back there in cover. But this is the start Australia would have really hoped for, and that they've come so close. 28 seconds into the game. A class back heel there from Trimboli. Lazaridis looked up. Deflected off Avani. And you don't get any closer than that, John. Lentini looking for a runner. Well, he goes himself, which isn't a surprise, really. Lentini with a magic run. And straight to the keeper, Zabika. That's the run of the series so far. Vidmar. Lazaridis just there with him. Good understanding between these two players from Adelaide. Of course, Stan with West Adelaide and Tony with Adelaide City. Trimboli getting it back, and there was the strike from Paul Wade.
Well, it's a better performance from Australia. They've been able to use the ball a lot better than last night. At the same time, I feel Milan are a little bit flatter than they were in Sydney, where I was impressed with their performance. And it's perhaps a little understandable. They've had a long trip playing in South Africa, playing in Sydney last night, and then here tonight. But signs that they are just starting to come back, and I'm sure as the match progresses that we'll see lots and lots more from them. Biggest problem for them at the moment is Boban, who was so incisive last night, really hasn't been in the match.
Now it's Lentini. And there was the chance again. Boban's second of the game.
Yes, sir.
Polak and Eranio. Just inside now for Costa Curta. Galeon. Vidmar got in there ahead of Lentini, and Lentini is taken off again. Look at remember Jurakovic in the background, just signal to the bench that he's all right, but Eddie Thompson, I'm sure he'll put Tobin in there very, very soon. Fabio Capello. And there's the goal! Simone has split them. And it came in a most unexpected way. One of the smallest players on the pitch was left free at that near post. The goal they've been waiting for has come. 8 minutes into the second half. Marco Simone. A lovely free kick from Boban. Zabika had no chance.
Quality ball from Boban and quality header from Simone, but Australia caught out defensively, Andy. Eddie Thompson won't be happy with this. But let's pay tribute to the quality of the cross and the quality of the header.
Lukojevic. Now Gench. Back inside. The header. And just so close. Lentini on for Simone. Will he get the return? Marco Simone, Bingley staying with him. Still in there, the goal! 2-0 AC Milan. Gianluigi Lentini with a clinical header in the second header of the game. 2-0. The Giants of Europe, AC Milan ahead. And that should be the ball game.
A brave finish from Lentini, but the goal belongs to Simone.
Di Napoli. Boban. Lazaridis was in there, but here's Vidmar. Tony Vidmar. And there's the ball. Lazaridis inside. It should be the goal. It's not. Unbelievable. Tony Vidmar, who was so unlucky to concede an own goal last night in Sydney. Lazaridis with the unselfish pass inside, and it should have been 2-1. Easier to score than to miss. Question might be asked now, John. Oh, we had the Jurakovic injury. There's been 2 minutes of stoppages, and there in fact is a full-time whistle.
A coach's life can never be truly comfortable. In the eyes of the fans and media, he's a genius when his team wins, incompetent when it loses. No one knows this fickle feeling better than Eddie Thompson, who has held this nation's top job since 1990. These days, Thompson's first headache in formulating a successful Socceroo lineup is getting all the overseas-based Aussies back here together, while ensuring that the local representatives aren't too put out about making way for our European professionals.
As I said to Robert Zabika, that if I think you're better than Bosnic, I'm going to play you. I said, I'm going to bring you into camp. If you perform well, you do the next one, and I see that you're in better form than Bosnic, I'll pick you. It's up for you, but I'm not going to decide on paper whether you're a better keeper than Bosnic or the next one. We've got to come into camps, you've got to keep playing with the national team. I mean, what happens if Mark Bosnic is injured? I mean, Zabika all of a sudden can't drop his bundle and say, I'm not coming to camps, I'm not going to play with the team, because if he wants to get chosen again, then he just has to, well, comply with that.
Have you ever had a problem with a player where he said, where a local based player said, look, I'm not your second-hand Rose here, you know, I don't like playing against Solomon Islands, and then you bring so-and-so back against Maradona?
No, I've never had anything like that, Les, to be honest. But I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if somebody did, because I mean, they might have a decent gripe there, but I mean, having said that, I mean, there's been a few guys that have come back and played in these games. I mean, Tony Vidmar come back against AC Milan and showed me that he was the best fullback. there's good chances for everybody to show me how good they are. Mehmet Derakovic come back, really Dominic Longo had the go over Mehmet. Dominic went back, he can work both ways. Dominic went back to Belgium, Mehmet come in, played against Papan, done well. He's never been out of the team.
Your nerves are better now than they were against New Zealand. Still, it can't be a pleasant time. I mean, you obviously wanted this job in the first place. Do you still want it?
Oh yeah, for sure. But there's sometimes I could walk away from it for sure. Because I think 24 hours a day. I think of Argentina. I think of us, what I'm going to do. What about the training session? What if this happens? We've got to make sure that we give a good performance. Should I train them twice a day? Should I bring back this overseas player? So there's a lot of, I mean, I keep it the wife's here. I mean, she's the poor one that suffers, you know. That,
do you still have a private life? I mean, nobody seems to think you have.
No, I don't have that. Since the New Zealand game, it's just everywhere you go, Les. I mean, shudder to think what Maradona goes through. I mean, this is a 0.5% compared with what that guy goes through. But no, it's difficult to go out, it's difficult to go anywhere, it's difficult to be away. But I love the job.
Despite all the pressures, which include, by the way, constant vigilance by the press, who of course are ready to pounce on the national coach every time something goes wrong. How do you cope with that? Do you think you cope well with that?
Yeah, I think so. I think that obviously we deserve some stick. If I get some stick if the team doesn't play that well. We didn't play particularly well in Canada. We got a good result, 2-1, but we didn't play that well. But only having 10 men, I thought, well, they're a bit unfair, but I had a look at it myself on tape. We could have played a lot better, and my assistant coaches told me we could have played a lot better as well. So, I mean, we took that one on the chin, and the other games against New Zealand as well, we got a bit of a serve here and there. But the people that do criticise me, Les, I analyse them first, and I see if this guy says that I would be hurt because he's been in the game a long time, and the Johnny Warnes or people like that, if Joe Block from Melbourne, Laurie Schwab or somebody like that said it would be over the top of the head.
Do you think it's fair that the national coach should be such a focus of criticism and indeed of responsibility in this day and age? That Graham Taylor should get the chop if England doesn't play well. Eddie Thompson should get the chop if Australia doesn't play well.
But it goes hand in hand. We get the praise as well. Sometimes I get praise when I don't really deserve it. If somebody does something special and scores a goal, or the goalkeeper has a great game, I mean, it's got nothing to do with me. I mean, he's in there doing his job. I've maybe selected him, but so sometimes we do get praise when we don't deserve it. It can work both ways, but sometimes you just got to cop it. And, I mean, I have my moments. I have my good days and my bad days where I get on the phone and have a blast at one of the sports guys. But
you're a Scotsman.
Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, within the history of Australian football and what it is out to achieve in the long term, where do you think your place has been so far? Where do you think you have already made a contribution?
I think that we've showed everybody here, for the kids all the way through, I think we've showed them that we can compete with the world. Not the English style of game. I think we've got our own style, but based on, I mean, I've picked a little bit from Argentina, I've picked a bit from AC Milan, I've picked a bit even from England, bits and pieces. And I think we have devised a style now that people appreciate watching the game. I see the under-14 championships at Lismore last year. They were playing with sweepers, they were playing with the two full-backs up in midfield, they were keeping possession, they were making... If people believe in me that much that they've got to change their styles in under-14s and get them playing good soccer, the Zeliches and that being heroes, I think we've transformed it the last 3 years that we do have a Matt Bosnich, a Ned Zelic. We have given them young guys that it's an example to the whole of the young community in Australia.
Take it to the limit, and Sony V VHS tape is there for you. Sony V captures life's pure images and sounds. Capture it all on Sony tape. It's time to get back on the World Cup tightrope again as the Socceroos roll their sleeves up for an arm wrestle with Canada, a nation that has made steady progress in world soccer over the past few years.
To get them back. I know myself, I'm stirred up already, you know. We'll not get beat by a team like this in Sydney. I can put my house in it. We'll beat this team in Sydney.
It was 2-1 to Canada in Edmonton. Now comes Australia's chance for revenge and further survival at the Sydney Football Stadium. It was a day that won't be forgotten.
Paraguay, Colombia or Argentina. Paraguay is currently third in that group in South America. Jurakovic gives the ball to Milan Ivanovic, back in the side. His last starting international was against the Solomon Islands, and already some confusion at the back. Farina, he'll keep it in, and he couldn't get it to Arnold, and away there by Samuel. A good sign for Australia early on. Zelic, Van Blurk. The elegant skills of the Borussia Dortmund sweeper Zelic. Tony Vidmar. Tobin. Tough one for Slater. In there was Sweeney. Bunbury on and out of play. The tallest player on the pitch. The long ball over the top of Tobin. Bunbury waits for support. And there was Tobin. And commitment there coming from Ned Zelic, but now Hooper, good jink inside, commitment also from Ivanovic. Zelic, cool play. Slater, Arnold on his right, through the middle, Van Blurk. Van Blurk, will it be the goal? Oh, what a save! What a save from Forrest. Australia, 1 minute and 50 seconds into the game. It was almost 1-0, a replica of what we saw against New Zealand.
An excellent start, Andy. The boys have taken it right to Canada, and the fact that Van Blurk involved in the attacks indicates a very positive attitude from Australia, but a splendid start by them.
And now the header! Vidmar and Farina came through. A long ball for Farina. Easily cut out by Watson. Van Blurk there. Vidmar looks on. Farina's onside. Arnold's in the centre. Farina, he might have it himself. He lines it up inside. The touch of the side once Australia again. Graham Arnold came through the centre. What a dynamic start from the Socceroos. Arnold and Samuel. It looked like Samuel was hanging on to Arnold. Nobilio back. Great turn by Bunbury. The advantage rule. In comes Mitchell, the chance, and Schwarzer got down. Well, Canada could have hit Australia there. It was Bunbury who played the role of creator. Zelic. And well, Zelic slipped and Ivanovic has to chase back there. Ivanovic has found Slater. They headed through for Vidmar. And there was the defending from Hooper. Lovely ball from Ivanovic. The touch from Slater was perfect. They go for Arnold again. Came off Samuel. Dasovic. Looking for Mobilio. Hardly seen him in the game today. Dasovic has kept that run down that left flank. Bunbury inside for Dasovic. Looked like a handball. The referee waved play on. Up was Arnold with a delightful header. Vidmar. He was looking for Slater because Slater was free on that far right. That's smart play. Yes, it is, because there wasn't really enough support coming through, because you can see the consequence. Van Blurk's taken off. It needs to be a good run, and off the post! Farina shoots! Oh! The goal should have been there for Australia. Vidmar crashes the header against the post, and it fell invitingly for Farina. midway through the first half. No goals at the Sydney Football Stadium. But plenty of action, particularly at the Canadian end. Watson brings down Farina, and that's the second foul by Watson. In almost identical position to the first. Dangerous position. About 25 metres out. Arnold's drive. Going to take a touch? No. But a well-taken free kick from the captain. Mitchell. It looks dangerous, but it went over the head of Mobilio. In was Zelic. Tobin's clearance didn't come off. Zelic again. Oh, that was late. That player should be booked for that. The captain should be booked. The referee's allowed play to continue, but when the ball goes out, I think the captain should be booked. Farina now for Australia. Blocked by Forrest. Oh, Vidmar. Where was the shot? Tony Vidmar back. Zelic might make amends. He shoots and taken by Forrest. The chance really for Vidmar to make up for that earlier header where he struck the woodwork. It fell invitingly for Vidmar and...
Wrong foot.
The game has been pretty fast. Van Bleur, free kick. Right over the top of Tobin as well. Mobilio. Aiming for Bunbury. Bunbury got in there ahead of Ivanovic. And look at this. Mitchell was coming through on the right, but Ivanovic has put it up for Farina. The keeper's off his line. Farina. The keeper blocks. Vidmar's there for Australia. Now Arnold. And Hooper away. What can one say? Vidmar. The ball inside. That's a great ball inside by Vidmar. Farina with a goalkeeper to beat. Van Bleur. Farina. He's got the measure of these defenders. Not this time. And a clever play by Mitchell, but Zelic read that play well. Zelic. Aurelio Vidmar. The ball for Arnold inside for Farina. And now Farina again, a corner. Well, what does a player have to do to score a goal here? Forrest comes. Away by Mobilio. Ivanovic inside. The flag stays down. Farina is down on the ground at the moment. In comes the ball, and there were numbers coming through. He should have hooked it back a bit more, Slater. And Yallop having a few words to say to Vidmar. Well, that's very unsportsmanlike from the Canadians, having a few words to say to Vidmar like that. The corner taken quickly. Vidmar up. Farina! Farina scores! What a beauty! It's taken them long enough. Farina was hurt just seconds before the goal, John. Farina was down in that lead-up play. But they've done it! Australia have scored at the football stadium. But a great attendance here at the Sydney Football Stadium for one of the most important games in Australian soccer history. Van Bleur in, and Farina went for it. Now Tony Vidmar inside Farina! And it bounces over. Oh no, it's not going to happen again. That's a dangerous looking ball for Hooper. And Schwarzer, it's gone in. What was Schwarzer doing there? He should have pushed it around. Canada are back on level terms here now. Hooper, the scorer. He should have palmed it around, and Canada now have the upper hand. It looked like Vidmar was fouled earlier. Jurakovic and Aurelio Vidmar this time. And Aurelio keeps it in. Van Blurk. Yallop. Good block by Arnold. Zelic. He's got Arnold and Farina. Zelic might go it himself. Ned Zelic goes with it. And he miscues at the final hurdle. Very unlike Ned Zelic. The first time we've really seen that run from him. Robbie Slater off, succumbing to that hamstring problem. And Dave Mitchell, who's put away 11 goals for Australia. They'd love him to score just one here to keep the tie alive. Mitchell with a good interception. Play on. Vidmar. He's got Farina on the right. He goes for Mitchell. Samuel back there. It's still on for Jurakovic. Novak Jurakovic's third goal in his Socceroo career. And he'll never ever score a more important goal than that. And the goal was all Jurakovic. He took the free kick quickly. The play went up the other end. Mitchell's telling challenge for the ball. Jurakovic saw the keeper off his line. And Australia are well and truly in the game now, John.
With 2:59 and they've deserved it overall. Things were starting to look grim, but great to see Jurakovic score. He's, for me, one of the performers for Australia. Good challenge from Mitchell. We're talking about Samuel and criticising him for some of the fouls, but he's been a great performer for Canada.
And it's turned into a superb ball for Mitchell. Arnold back there stealing from Bunbury. They're offside at the moment. Farina's on though. Farina, a save by Forrest. Vidmar, oh what a save by the keeper. Tremendous work from Forrest. He's kept Canada alive as well. First it was Farina, and then it was Aurelio Vidmar. There's 2 minutes of normal time left. He's kept it in. Mitchell in the centre, Aurelio Vidmar with him. Van Blurk inside. Handball. At the edge of the area. Mitchell. That's a dangerous looking ball. Watson away. Tobin up. Zelic. Arnold. Ooh, that could be... No, it's not dangerous this time. Jurakovic, he's got numbers on the right. Farina, there's men inside. Farina. Mitchell, blocked. A scissor kick wasn't on. Arnold was waiting. And Australia, let's hope they don't rue the fact that they haven't been able to take these chances, John. The referee, I'm surprised, has allowed this much injury time. That should really be it. So it's down to extra time. Valentine, the only change made by the Canadians. And look at the space Bunbury has. And Schwarzer got down to that one. As cool as ever, the former Red Star Belgrade campaigner. Arnold. That's a good ploy. Open up. The Canadians, that's a good ball for Mitchell. Mitchell, will keep it a beat. Oh, it should have been the goal again for Australia. Farina will keep it in. Wayne with his eye on the ball, and that's a great header. Farina, and there was Watson. Arnold up. Vidmar. It needs a touch, Farina. And the keeper got down well. Here comes Vidmar. Will he take Sweeney on? He does, easily. Vidmar might go all the way. Vidmar straight at the keeper. He could have kept going even closer. Tobin. Jurakovic. Wade. Jurakovic onside. Jurakovic could be the hero! It's gone wide. Yallup's there for Canada. And Jurakovic, who had scored the goal that had kept Australia in the game, would have pulled off a dramatic winner. And he's given 4 minutes and 20 seconds of stoppages. It's down to penalties. And it's good to see that Australia are the ones who are taking the first penalty. Paul Wade. And well taken. Sweet penalty. That'll give them a world of confidence. Mark Schwarzer, this is a chance to redeem himself. And he sends the keeper the wrong way as well. Vidmar against Forrest. And just getting it through too. The West Ham striker Bunbury. Bunbury and Schwarzer. And saved! Saved by Schwarzer! Australia are ahead 2-1 on penalties after 2 kicks each. And Tobin pushes it further ahead to 3-1 on penalties. Sweeney against Schwarzer. And saved again! Schwarzer with 2 magnificent saves! Frank Farina, the man who put Australia ahead. This will wrap it up for Australia. Farina does it! Australia march on! Australia the victors! Magnificent, but they did it the hard way. Farina buries it. 4-1 on penalties. The day ends for Canada. They were going in defeat. Australia dominating the game. They created so many chances. And young Mark Schwarzer, he'll be regarded as the hero of this victory. Australia victorious. 2 superb saves by Schwarzer, John.
Pretty emotional at the moment. We did well. Well, I think we got all the doubters off our back. You know, there was people saying that the European guys didn't have their heart in the emblem of Australia, and I think we showed today that, you know, all of us are proud Aussies, and I'm proud of all the boys.
Some light bitters seem to lose that crisp, clean taste after a couple of glasses. So what's so special about Foster Special?
It was 4 years ago that Australia made its last attempt to reach the World Cup finals. For 4 years, the shadow of that defeat has hung over Australian soccer. The Socceroos have waited, planned and prepared for their opportunity to reach USA 94. And despite a thrilling close call against Canada, have done everything to take their campaign one step further. Now, there are only 2 matches between them and the ultimate goal. This is their moment of truth, the most important event for Australian soccer since 1974. The obstacle before them is one of daunting proportions, probably the most difficult experience by any Australian team. Twice world champions, runners-up at the 1990 World Cup and currently ranked 12th in the world, Argentina. Their shock defeat at the hands of Colombia has placed them in the desperate position of a 2-match sudden death encounter with the Socceroos. A position so serious it heralded the return of the most controversial figure in the world game. A man named by many as the greatest player of all time, the legendary Diego Maradona.
Dead and puts the ball away. A that is why Maradona is the greatest player in the world.
And Australia are well and truly in the game now, John.
These matches will decide the future of two teams. One will be forced to wait 4 years for their next chance. The others will be on their way to the USA.
There is no doubt about it. The stakes just keep getting higher and higher. Australia's moment of truth has arrived, and almost 44,000 fans have packed the Sydney Football Stadium to see whether the Socceroos are capable of undermining one of the world's truly great football nations and silencing the sweet music of Maradona.
And what a night for Raul Blanco there, the other assistant coach. Been here some 26 years now, from Argentina, has contributed so much to the development of our youth teams, and sitting on the Australian bench tonight. So a big night for Raul Blanco.
Diego Maradona, 81 internationals, 32 goals. His club career is so imposing. 378 league appearances around the world and 197 goals. He's looked the goods at training. He has shed around 12 kilos in 6 weeks.
If we give Argentina possession, then we're in all sorts of trouble. So, I mean, it's up for us. We know what we've got to do. And, well, we'll just see how good enough we are at doing it.
Made it to the USA before this part of proceedings. Sanderpool gets us away. Maradona, he gets his first touch. The debutant McAllister knocks it down the line. Tony Vidmar looking for Arnold. Arnold was held back. A switch across for the big men. And now Van Blerk. Well worth a try from there. Van Blerk's been in good touch in Holland. In 10 league appearances with go-ahead Eagles, he's put away 5 goals, and that's an important sign for the Australians because the style of play that he is in this team. On the left side of the defence, there's Alfio Basile. He'll still be having some headaches and bitter memories of that 5-0 defeat to Colombia. McAllister inside. Van Blerk there looking for Slater. On by Tony Vidmar for Slater. Arnold inside. The Red Baron looks up and wins the corner kick. A bright start for the Coca-Cola Socceroos. Robbie Slater has been to several clubs in Europe. He trialled with Nottingham Forest. He was with Anderlecht, and he's made a name for himself in France with Lens. Sweet-looking corner, Gokachair comes. And the challenge there, the referee not happy with. Paul Wade went up. Batistuta wants it deep. He's looking for Batistuta. Tobin went up with him. Van Blerk, the free player for Australia. Aurelio Vidmar down the line for Arnold. McAllister. Well, it's Pirelli rather than the number 2 back there, but now inside for Aurelio Vidmar. Van Blerk. Zelic has got a bit of space. Slater. It's a good ball for Tony Vidmar. The cross not deep enough. Arnold's in there though. And covered at the back. One for Balbo to chase. Ivanovic. His great form resulted in his promotion against Canada, which forced Ned Zelic into the midfield role. Tobin along for Van Blerk. Zelic. Van Blerk. That's not a bad looking cross. So close for Australia. Graham Arnold, the danger man, but a delightful cross from Van Blerk. Arnold came to the near post. The first real incident of the game.
Australia's best attacking move, and it shows what they have to do. They have Argentina rattled, which is a big thing to say, but Argentina just haven't got on their feet yet, and that's full credit to Australia.
Van Blerk. Aurelio Vidmar, the runners are coming through. Slater wants it on the left. He's going across. That's not a bad ball for his brother Tony. The understanding, the brothers, they've played so many games in the backyard in Adelaide.
And
They
again,
know exactly what they do there.
And again, the type of move, Andy. Good switch by Aurelio to his brother, but opening Argentina on the flanks.
And young Van Bleuk's having a great start to the game as well.
He is. His dad would be proud. You mentioned earlier, of course, Cliffy playing back in the very first World Cup, back in '65. Different times then, of course. But no prouder person in the stadium, Cliff Van Bleuk, of young Jason.
Bosnich looking for Arnold, straight up the middle. That's a confident throw. The header didn't go back for Zelic though. It went straight to Basualdo. Now Balbo, Jurakovic, the man who silenced Gary Lineker and Jean-Pierre Papin, as Australia have picked up the beat a bit here. Tony Vidmar with a challenge. Wade over there chasing. Redondo. He clips the heels of Tony Vidmar. Milan Ivanovic, he set an Australian transfer record when he left Red Star in Yugoslavia to join Adelaide City. He moved $50,000, but times have changed. The likes of Zelic valued at around $5 million. And it's Zelic in possession. Aurelio Vidmar is a real offensive player. 19 goals in the Belgian league last season. Van Bleuk inside for Zelic. Good possessional play by the Australians. Wade was free inside, but it's gone too deep. And again, there's room here for Van Bleuk. Aurelio Vidmar. On for Arnold, too strong though. Away by Borelli. Argentina having weathered that early storm of attack from Australia.
It just shows you, Andy, how difficult it is for any country, even with such a high pedigree as Argentina, to play away from home. It's a different circumstances completely.
Here's Slater! Robbie Slater was tripped, and the referee allowed the advantage, and the shot just wasn't forceful enough. It probably was a good decision to allow the advantage rule. Slater was on his way. He beat Borelli. He was coming to goal. He was taken out just there, and the shot in the end just not strong enough. As Maradona plays it short, back inside for Perez. Ivanovic on. Wade up. Chamot trying to weave his way through. A timely clearance by Tobin. Now Ivanovic. Slater. That's confident play. Slater. A blatant body check. Well, that really is a bookable offence, as Robbie Slater signals to the referee. Slater was on his way through. His pace, his skills, mesmerising there. That is...
I don't think there's any doubt that was a yellow card. Slater on his way. It was a professional foul.
But either way, Argentina, although they're not in the game as much as Australia are, they'll be very content that the score stays at 0-0. And what about this? Here's Arnold. Arnold shoots and shoots wide. The chance of the game. 23 minutes in. The Australian pressure told at the end, and Arnold perhaps should have done a bit more with that, John. Now Maradona told to take the throw from its correct position. Batistuta. He scored 2 goals against Australia last year in a 2-0 victory. Here comes Maradona. Van Bleuk there. Now Ivanovic. And still Maradona. In comes a dangerous looking cross. And the goal! The goal for Argentina! A tremendous goal! A moment of magic! The celebrations are deafening here. Alfio Basile will be delighted.
And relieved.
37 minutes in. Maradona's pinpoint cross. And the header was perfect. At the near post. Diego Armando Maradona setting up the goal. Argentina. A tremendous finish by Balbo. Several thousand Argentinian supporters here. It's more like a home game, I would think, to the visitors. Slater inside for Zelic. He's looking for the runner, and it's a good run from Vidmar. Tony Vidmar inside. Back in the game. Emilio Vidmar, the scorer. Brother to brother. The Adelaide connection has come good. What an opportune time to hit back. It appeared Australia had the backs to the wall, and it was Emilio Vidmar, the destroyer. The Vulcan ball-playing midfielder has levelled it here. Joy for the fans at the Sydney Football Stadium. I said it was more like a home game, but after hearing the reaction to the goal, that's Australia back at 1-1. 42 minutes in. A delightful ball by Zelic. Don't forget the contribution there. Vidmar stuck in. The ball inside the finish from Aurelio Vidmar. The younger brother setting up the older brother. And the celebrations will be non-stop, I would think, up until half-time, particularly in Adelaide. And there is the half-time whistle. What a stunning conclusion we've had here. It was scoreless until the 37th minute. Balbo's goal put Argentina ahead. 5 minutes later, Aurelio Vidmar pulled it back to 1-1. Critical to note that the away goal, if, say it's a draw 0-0 in the second leg and it stays at 1-1, Argentina will advance on away goal rules. That's what happened actually here at the Sydney Football Stadium. Australia won that game against Canada, the second leg 2-1. That was the same score also in the first leg. It went to a penalty shootout. Possession given away by Tobin. Batistuta is onside. Gabriel Batistuta can't get through and they get the corner. That's the start Argentina were looking for. Batistuta was trying to line it up and try and curl it into that top corner, I would think. No emotion from the Argentina coach. Alfio Basile. Diego Maradona with a corner kick. The photographers just cramping his style somewhat. Bosnich with his iron it. Good easy take for him. The man who was with Manchester United. Liverpool were after him. He ended up at Aston Villa. Arnold, the lone man up there, gets away from Borelli. No one inside. He's got to play it back for Vidmar. The switch is on for Zelic if he can get it right across. Inside Slater. Slater. And Van Berk, who was considering making a challenge, although McAllister got in there first. Some words there at the moment between Slater and Perez. Slater wasn't too happy with something that happened off the ball. And it's a booking for both players. Perez booked in his debut for Argentina. Van Bleur looks for the runner. Down the line is Arnold. No one in the box at the moment. Van Bleur Inside is Arnold. And that ball across was blocked by Borelli. Some might have expected a first-time shot, but it's still on for Australia. Argentina have got the numbers there. Zelic trying to thread a way through. Had to play it back for Wade. Wade looks up for support. Intelligent ball really for Zelic. Now he'll get it in. And away by Vasquez. Now it's Argentina's turn to defend. Zelic has come close. That's who it's aimed for. Now Wade. Wade shot deflection. Corner kick. It was certainly on its way to goal. It fell invitingly for the Socceroo captain, Paul Wade. And a timely interception. It looked like it was Basualdo. Goicoechea comes. Good take. A great game here at the Sydney Football Stadium. 1-1 the score. 13 minutes into the second half. The gallant Socceroos putting up a brave fight against the two-time world champions Argentina. The ball for Perez. He gets his cross in. Batistuta! And if he connected, who knows? Gabriel Batistuta has a superb strike rate in the World Game. 17 goals in 25 matches for Argentina. Arnold getting in there ahead of Vasquez. A hasty clearance by McAllister. Up goes Perez. In goes Arnold. And away runs now is Vidmar, Aurelio Vidmar. Van Blurk, Zelic inside. Tony Vidmar deep on the right. Zelic drags one of the players away. Drakovic now. Will he go deep? He plays it short for Slater. Captain Socceroo, Paul Wade, sees Vidmar. This is a delightful run. Vidmar goes down. No penalty. Vidmar had made a superb run in. I didn't really think there was a major clash at all.
My first reaction is no penalty.
Tony Vidmar. His brother Aurelio wants it deep. It's falling invitingly for him. He's up there. Aurelio's in. Goicoechea with a save and a crucial one at that. And it's a... freed up perhaps against Graham Arnold is the call. Either way, it would have been a goal kick. But the understanding between the Vidmar brothers, Aurelio signalled early. He got up there. There was a chance there for him. Goicoechea got in. Wade not back the 10 metres. Balbo. Maradona and Wade. Well, he's given it straight to Maradona. Should have looked for Bosnich for a quick clearance. And now, well, way too deep. Way too deep from Perez. Who would want to be a national coach? Wade and Maradona. Delightful header on for Zapata. Balbo. Drakovic staying with him. Redondo. Maradona looks for support. It's there in Zapata. McAllister. Tobin away. Straight to Zapata. Maradona. They're controlling it at the moment, Argentina. Batistuta takes off and shoots, and Bosnich got down to that near post. Well, I'm sure Bosnich made a great save there. The linesman says no. The referee takes it from the linesman, and I'm sure you'll see here Bosnich just pushed it around the post here, just making sure. Maradona. Only one man can do it, and it's Diego Armando Maradona. Batistuta. The shot, easy work for Bosnich. He takes it quickly for Arnold. At the moment it's 2 Australians against 3 Argentinians. Mitchell, and Mitchell just couldn't get onto it. Borelli was the last man. Australia have proved on countless occasions how good they are on the world stage at every level, bar this, the World Cup. They have perhaps the most difficult passage to qualify out of all countries in the world. They won the Oceania group. They accounted for the Solomon Islands and Tahiti first, and they played the winner of the other Oceania group, New Zealand. They beat them over 2 legs. Then they beat Canada over 2, but it came down to penalties. Mitchell with a great recovery from Perez. Redondo, he can see the space. Redondo, and there was Alex Tobin. Vidmar. In times gone by, it would have been a hasty clearance away by an Australian team. There's Diego Maradona's wife with the white cap on there. 14 of his family members here in Australia. Claudia and the 2 children here as well. Arnold was looming as McAllister got it away, and a great chest down by Diego Maradona, finding his man and squeezing it through to Batistuta. Ivanovic in there, Van Blurk. Bosnich with plenty of time and room. He wants them to move out of the defensive third, which they've done. Looks for Mitchell. Mitchell on for Arnold. Arnold looking for Vidmar. Aurelio Vidmar. Backus across there for Mitchell. And Borelli, clever play at the back. Perez. Redondo. Maradona. Vidmar with a steal. Wade. Slater across. They're throwing men deep in the box. Slater. And he gets a delightful ball in. They're lining up. Now Van Blurk! There was the chance for Australia. Jason Van Blurk could have been the hero. Just too keen, perhaps. That's a good-looking ball for Mitchell, and that'll be a corner. It is a corner. It did come off an Argentinian player. Will one of the Socceroos stand up and become a hero? The eyes of the nation are on Australia. Maradona booked in his comeback game, arguing the point a bit too much perhaps. Quite a few Socceroos in that box. Van Blurk with a corner kick. Swinging it straight to Maradona. Jurakovic. Mitchell in there. And a foul against the big man. Argentina made the 1990 final in the World Cup. They won it in 86 with Maradona the star. They won it in 78. And there in fact is the full-time whistle. A 1-1 draw in the first leg. Not the victory Australia had been hoping for, but they put on such a brave and fine performance. Maradona not happy with the booking. Overall, a great display for Australia, but they had some chances which they should have put away perhaps.
I'm really proud of the guys. I think playing Argentina, a team like this, and showing we're every bit as good as them.
I think the key to our good performance was basically that we played. We knocked the ball around a lot, used the flanks, and really did deserve a lot more considering our performance in the first half. But Argentina as well, they did come out and put some pressure on us, and more or less strengthened towards the end of the game. But you know, I always felt that we had the game under control from the start, and they did score a goal against a run of play. We were just so motivated before the game, and And I mean, I can honestly say that I've never felt so motivated for an international game like last night. It was just tremendous atmosphere, the fans and everything. It was just a great night. And I suppose it showed on the park how motivated we really were.
The final whistle has blown on this collector's edition of Soccer Australia 93 video. I hope you enjoyed our look at the highlights of the Socceroos World Cup campaign on home soil. This is Les Murray, bidding you farewell and reminding you that the very best action from the World Game can be seen every week on SBS, your soccer station. I leave you with this portrait of a master. It may not have fostered Australia's cause, but this image should be an enduring one for those who appreciate the skills that make soccer the beautiful game.